Hello everyone, I am the Sonic27 and today I want to bring you guys a special video. I've been playing Genshin Impact since it came out and today I want to go over my whole account and show what I have accomplished since the game has been released. First, I want to start with, of course, the important stuff in characters and weapons of my account. We'll first start off with my highest level, being Kaya. Most people usually don't uh, have Kaya leveled up very high, but during my circumstances, when I rushed to Ascension rank 40, I was not prepared because my healers were not able to keep me up, and the only healer I had at the time was Barbara. So I had to fight the Oceanid to actually get it high enough, and Kaya was already like sufficiently leveled up, so I decided just to rank him up and continue playing him, and I actually fell in love with his playstyle and everything. I'm still currently working on his artifacts because I recently decided to switch it. So yeah, he is my only Ascension 6 level 90 character. Those are the stats for him at the current moment. I have for him the prototype Rancor, but for him you can put mostly any weapon that you find appealing for him. There's the Festering Desires from the recent event of Chalk Prince and the Dragon. That is a good weapon for him as well, since you can spam his elemental skill a lot. But Prototype Rancor allows me to play him as a hybrid character, doing a lot of elemental damage with his ultimate and his elemental skill, and he is also allowed to do a lot of physical damage because of the physical damage bonus and a lot of damage that he creates. The artifacts that I'm running on him are the Blizzard Strayer, which adds a cryo damage bonus, and Gladiator's Finale because I just like having extra damage from that. I currently just have two constellations on him, Excellent Blood and Never Ending Performance. Uh, Excellent Blood actually is really important, I believe, because his crit rate gets increased by 15% when he hits someone that's affected by cryo. And Kaya is one of the only characters that I know that can go up to 70% um, of his crit rate naturally, because he has this 15% from from his constellation. If you run two ice characters, you get an additional 15%, which adds up to 30. And then when you have the force set for the cryo ability strayer, it adds another additional 20% when you hit someone that's affected by cryo, so that's 50%. And if you hit someone that's frozen, that's an additional 20%, which adds up to 70%, which is a fun fact. It's really interesting that they're making the ice characters into the crit characters, but that's fine. Talents, I have it 676. Uh, there's nothing really special about that. I usually have his R2. I mean his elemental skill higher because it just works better for him. It's it's an ability that you can spam out as well as ultimate. I didn't find much of an increase worth for this, but I do have enough materials to bring it up. I just have to get the prophecies of Balad. Okay, we'll now move on to my Jingling. Xiangling is Ascension 5, level 80. She's actually pretty amazing, especially with the amount of elemental mastery that she obtains. Um, Her weapon, actually pulled a Primordial J Wing Spear, which I love for her. It's the same reason I have for Kaya, that she's allowed to be a hybrid character, doing a lot of elemental damage and a lot of physical damage, because that's just the playstyle that I agree with. For artifacts, I actually have the four set for the Witch. It comes in Witch of Flames. It just allows for those elemental reactions to be hit even stronger. And the one reason I love it so much is because since I have my Constellation 5 on Jingling, she has a very high level Goba. And if you guys don't know, Goba hits for a lot of damage, and getting a 3 levels on it more just made him hit even harder, which was amazing. Pyronado also hits for a ton because of the way that I have things set up, with a lot of damage, with a lot of elemental reaction and elemental mastery. My bad. But yeah, it's pretty good. She is my second strongest character, but I still have a couple of unique characters, I would like to say. My first 5 star, I would actually say, is Diluc. I got him back when Cleve was in the banner. I wasn't able to pull Cleve, but Diluc actually fit my playstyle a lot more, being both elemental mastery and hitting hard for physical damage. I don't have him built for elemental mastery, which is something I still have to improve in the coming days. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The weapon I have for him is the prototype Archaic. My bad. Um, they recently changed the name from prototype Aminus, which was weird. I don't know why they did that, but yeah, they changed the name of the prototype weapon. This one's just amazing on him, just a lot of damage, and being able to hit for 300% of attack when he when he's supposed to hit like a truck anyways, it's amazing. His artifact is the Crimson Witch of Flame because I do believe that him doing so much pyro damage is important for his whole playstyle. I even have a artifact that gives him pyro damage bonus, which again, like I said, pretty important for him. Constellation, I don't really have a constellation for him. It's kind of hard to get a 5 star constellation for the one that you want. So for the meantime, you always play most of the 5 stars in C0 just because it's just hard to come by unless you pay a lot of money. Then you have a higher chance of getting higher constellation characters, especially since Diluc is one of the 5 stars that are always on rotation. With that being Diluc, Jean, Mona, Chi Chi, and Mona. Not Mona, Kachin. My bad. Talents, I have a 666 on him, and yeah, that's pretty much it for them. Well, now moving on to my Beidou. I have her at Ascension 5 level 70. I haven't been
If you
able
ever want
to
to trade
put in
tactics, I'm always ready.
many Hero's Wit into her to increase her level, but so far she's held up her own. She has the Sacrificial Greatsword, which I use mostly so that I can get her ultimate up, because I use her more of a support character than a DPS, well, main DPS. I love her ultimate, especially when you combine it with other characters. It creates massive elemental reactions, which causes a lot of damage, especially since I have the Thundering Fury set on her. Actually, I have the Thundering Fury and Gladiator's Finale just to increase the damage that she produces with that ultimate. Um, I don't really have anything special with her. Probably the Tiara. Um, yeah, I have attack. I haven't leveled it up yet. I have a couple of artifacts that I have at level 20, but those are the ones that I just absolutely enjoy using, and the stats are amazing for them. Moving on to the constellations, I don't have any constellations for her, but I still enjoy playing her in this style. Her talents are 466. I haven't upgraded her basic attack just because I haven't felt a need to do it. But yeah, Beta's actually has helped me throughout many things. I especially love her Tide Collar, which just lets you counter a lot of damage. And in the fight with Child, she allows you to actually take the one-shot ability that he throws, where he launches himself in the air and then come down striking with lightning. You can actually counter that, and since she absorbs a lot of electro damage, she is allowed to live that one shot. And speaking of Child, here is my second 5 star, Child, also known as Tartaglia. He goes by both names, as you can see at the bottom. Number 11 of the Harbinger, also known as Child. He is Ascension 4, level 63. I've been wanting to put in a lot more resources into him, but at the current time, I don't have the chance to. His weapon is Rust, because it honestly is one of the best weapons for him, since you would usually just switch to his elemental skill stance, which allows him to go into melee stance and makes all those into his basic attack. And increasing the basic attack while in that form is amazing. That's where most of his damage comes from, and even his ultimate has uh, the same damage. We'll move on to the artifacts now, being the Heart of Depths, because it gives me that same elemental skill into normal attack damage, increases by 30% with the artifacts, and 40% with the rust. That just gives me a 70% flat boost to my normal attacks, which is what Child is all about in his elemental skill stance. For his constellations, I have no constellations. Uh, it's just hard to get constellations for 5 stars, especially since Child is not on the banner anymore. His his talents are, I believe that's two, because of his one of his passives is Mastery of Weaponry, increases your own party member's normal attack level by 1, which basically allows him to have +1 on his normal attacks. But I don't actually have his normal attack leveled up because you usually use this stance to do damage. So the way that I play him, I don't have a need to actually level up the first one. So I saved up some resources by not putting that and just put it into the Foul Legacy, Raging Tide. And it just works better for me. And his ultimate, which is like a very important thing, is like a ton of damage that he causes, is also with the same level as Foul Legacy, Raging Tide. Havoc Obliteration. That's the name of the elemental burst, by the way. Barbara, she, as I mentioned before, she was my first healer. I required her to move on through most of the challenges in this game
I wonder when I'll be as
at rank
tall as
40
my big
because
sister.
I didn't prepare it correctly for Sister rank 40, and I didn't have all the materials I needed to level up the corresponding people. So she actually had a lot of resources going into her. Not many because she's only Ascension 3 level 60, but she actually did do a huge part in my success in this game. Prototype Amber, which also was known as Prototype Malice, um, it increases her HP, which I love a lot, but it also regenerates a lot of energy and health for the whole party. So if your bar wasn't healing enough, try Prototype Amber. It's amazing for her. For her artifacts, I have her with the Maiden Beloved 4 set because she's just healing for me. That's all I want. She has a really good set of HP, I believe. Yeah, HP, HP, HP. The only attack one is the feather for the man is beloved. But then I got more HP on the flower because the flower is guaranteed HP and the feather is guaranteed attack. But yeah, she has a ton of HP, but still not enough to surpass some of my higher. Actually, I don't know. I've changed artifacts around. She has a lot of health, basically. She, I have her at Constellation 3 for me, which is great for her ultimate. Having her ultimate level up that high just increases the amount of heals that she gives out. Her talents are at 144 because of the Ascension. Can I level them up? No, I cannot. But yeah, there. That's where she stands for the current moment. She's actually not. I'm not gonna level up any further for the time being. I don't have any need for her because I actually pulled another healer that will replace her definitely. And that healer's not Diona. Diona is actually a pretty good character. I like her, but not really my playstyle. She's Ascension 3, level 50. I run the Favonius Warbow on her because you want her ultimate up because that's the way that she heals. So it's really important to get that energy recharge in order to get all those precious energy particles or elemental particles. I run the Maiden's Beloved just to increase her healing, and the Exile to again increase the energy recharge because her ultimate is important, and she doesn't really have a high element to recharge or energy recharge. My bad. So it's really important to run energy recharge on her. Her constellations, I have the first one, which is actually I think the most important one. Regenerate 15 energy for Diona after the effects of signature mix ends. That basically just allows you to get her ultimate even more, which, like I stated before, is the most important part of her. Getting her ultimate up and element energy recharge is the way to go. Her talents are 3, 4, 4 because she's at uh, Ascension 3. So that no biggie on that. Yeah, if I would rank her up, I would definitely get the signature mix leveled up higher and icy paws because I don't usually have her out to do damage. Maybe sometimes when I need to have her out to get that energy recharge. But that's it. Next one is Ningguang. I actually leveled up Ningguang in order to have like a more balanced roster of having at least one Geo character up there. Ningguang was that Geo character that I chose, being Ascension 4, level 70. I have the. I don't have a proper book for her at the current moment. Actually, let me put this on. Sacrificial fragment. I just have it just to have it, but honestly, she can. If you have a better book for her, I would recommend it. I just don't have a proper book for her because I have other characters that I want to level up, and Ningguang just doesn't have any place for me at the current moment. In terms of artifact, I went for the Archaic Petra, which is increases her Geo damage bonus, which is amazing because when she ascends, she also increases her Geo damage, which is where all her damage is coming from. So increasing that is just a lot better. And the Wanderer's Trope, I don't remember why I have that, but I don't recommend it. Uh, the characters from Geo, they don't usually use Elemental Mastery as much as the other characters, just because they don't combine with the other characters as well. For constellations, there are no constellations. And for her talents, I have a 5-2-5. I have her basic and her ultimate leveled up really high, just because I prefer to have those doing a lot of damage. I don't really have any need for the Jade Screen to be leveled up at the current moment, but maybe in the future, if I am in need of a good Geo character, I'll just come back to Ningguang. Sucrose is actually my latest uh, development, which is for my preparation for my future plans. I've actually wanted to summon for Ganyu, so I have a ton of Primal Gems saved up, and that video will be up when Ganyu comes out. I'll have a massive opening video. I'll also make a small video making that announcement. But yeah, that's what I have at the current moment. Sucrose is at the moment Ascension 3, level 60, which for the time being it's pretty low. I'm missing a ton of items, especially the Hurricane Seeds. But eventually I'll have her up and she will be becoming one of the most powerful characters I have. I have the Mappa Mare on her because it's really good for the elemental mastery and elemental reactions type of thing. Um, because that's what she does. She's an elemental mastery type of person. And the reason I want to combine her with Ganyu is because since Ganyu puts up taunts on the field, that's perfect for Sucrose. She's able to get all the people that get put into one place by Ganyu's taunts and ult and get her elemental burst and her elemental skill out, and also having Ganyu's elemental burst out and elemental skill out will just create a massive amount of cryo swirl, which is hopefully something good that happens. It's just something I've been thinking of and what to do with my roster. Um, of course, I have the Viridescent Veneer. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. I'm sorry if I didn't. Um, just extra animal and increasing the swirl damage is just amazing for her. I feel like I don't know if there's any other thing that would go well for her, but the way that I'm building her, this is the preferred build. For constellations, I really want to have the first constellation, but I also don't want to summon on the current banner, which has Sucrose. So for the meantime, I'm just gonna just live with it. There's no need for it. You can you can play with any character. The constellation just makes them a little bit better. But yeah, that's just a want, but not a need, in my opinion. Then you also have I have her talents at 344. Um, her elemental skill and elemental burst are, in my opinion, the most important things to have. So you know, have those leveled up if you have any things for Sucrose. That is Lisa. I don't really have much to say for Lisa. She's actually disappointed me a lot. I built her up a little bit because I didn't have any other characters at the moment. This was at the beginning of the game, so I put a bit of resources into her because I didn't have many characters. So she is currently at Ascension 3, level 60. I have the magic guide on her so that she can do more damage to people that are affected by electro. And with her ultimate Violet Rose, she is or Violet Arc, I don't know. She does a lot more damage, so pretty good. Elemental Mastery if whenever I run like a fire or a pyro or cryo ally. Artifacts, I just have the Thundering Fury. I don't really have a complete set on her because after I got other characters, I started taking some of the artifact from her and put it on other characters that needed it. Constellations wise, I have two. I have the Infinite Circuit and Electromagnetic Field. They just make her a lot better to use by having her increased defenses while holding her Violet Arc, and then just generate more energy when she hits people with the Violet Arc, which is her current elemental skill. And then Lightning Rose. I would recommend these two to be upgraded because those are her main uses as a character. Having a lot of Lightning Rose damage for those elemental reactions, and then Violet Arc is her massive damage, which does a hefty amount if you build her up properly. Alright, but moving on, we will have Jinxio, or also as how my friend calls him, Waterboy. Um, he is a really good character in my opinion. I just don't have a need for him because I have both Barbara and Child as my water characters, my Hydro character, my bad. So I don't have him built up as the other characters, as you can tell. I have Cool Steel on him to increase damage to people that have Hydro or Cryo, which goes well with his elemental skill and elemental mastery, elemental burst. My bad. His artifact is not where I want it to be. This is actually I haven't built him to where he uses the correct artifacts. Funny enough. So yeah, I'll just skip over the artifacts for him. I have two constellations for him. The first one being really good. The rain swords increased by one, which just decreases damage, and whenever they get bursted, you get healed. It's amazing. And his second one extends the duration of rain cutter and decreases the hydro resistance of enemies hit by the rain cutter blades, which is amazing. Rain cutter, by the way, is his elemental burst. So that's what you're wondering. I also have him at a 244 because he's Ascension 3. But yeah, that's it for Jingxiao, also known as Waterboy in my opinion. Amber, she is my baby. She is a character that I know she is bad, but once I'm done completing my other characters, I will definitely bring her up. I currently have Amber at Ascension 4, level 60. She does a ton of damage, but mostly because of one reason, and that is the Amos bow. My second um, legendary weapon. The Amos bow basically increases a ton of damage by having attack percentage as its substat, but it also increases charge attack damage by 12%, and normal and charge attack damage increase by 8% every zero point 0.1 seconds for up to 5 times. Basically, what that's saying, for as long as the arrow is in the air, the damage is increased every zero point 0.1 second by 8%. which is great, which goes up to a maximum of 5. So if you 5 times 8 equals 40, that's just a ton of damage that gets accumulated, which is good for Amber, but this bow will actually be going to Ganyu, since she basically has the same playstyle as Amber, just with a lot more damage from her kit. So yeah, that's what I have. But yeah, I have a second Amos bow, funny enough, that I pulled the recently. So I will keep them separate. I won't combine them, which if I didn't have Amber as my little project on the side, I would definitely just combine them. But I want to keep these two separated so I can have one on Amber, one on Ganyu. And moving on to her artifacts, I have Noblesse Oblige because her ultimate does a ton of damage if you have the correct build, and increase the pyro damage with Crimson Witch of Flames. I might I'm actually gonna change this to a Wanderer's Trope build, but at the current moment, I have a lot of the Wanderer's Trope stuff going to Ganyu. So after that, I will build up Amber with Wanderer's Trope. Constellation wise, I have 4. Some people would hate this, but for me, it actually works out for me. All her constellations just make her a bit better, which she needs a lot of stuff to make her better. But the one thing I love the most is her fourth constellation, which gives her 20% decrease cooldown on her puppet, and then adds one additional charge. So you can have 2 Baron Bunnies out on the field, which is great for the damage and just to lure in enemies. Like I said, she has the same playstyle as Ganyu. Talent wise, I have her 6 to 4. Uh, her charge attacks is what you would want to build up, so that's why I have her basic attack high. And her elemental skill is very low, just because I didn't have the Baron Bunny upgrade to have 2 charges. And her ultimate elemental burst, I don't really have any reason to have it low. Just I don't have the resources to do so, since she shares the same books as Sucrose and Child. Okay, well, moving on to my next prize character, Chi-Chi. Chi-Chi is, as most people would know, one of the best healers in the game. She, at this level, does more healing than my Barbara, which says a lot. It just, she just does insane healing. Her elemental burst is the main factor of this, but the fact that she gets all her healing based off of her
1,
attack
2, breathe. 3,
is amazing.
4,
I can have her at
and
Ascension 3, level 50, and she's still being able to handle like top tier Abyss runs or even top tier domains, being able to heal with that elemental burst. I have the Favonius sword on her so that I can get that elemental burst a lot faster because that's where she gets all her healing from. So increasing her energy recharge and getting those elemental particles a lot more, it just makes it so good for her. Artifact wise, I have Maiden's Beloved and Gladiator's Finale, which is something you won't usually see on a healer. But for Chi-Chi, her healing is based off her attack stat, so having that extra attack actually works uh, on her in her favor. I don't have any consolation on her because one, she's my most recent 5-star, and two, again, it's a 5-star. You don't really expect to have that many constellations for one. And talent wise, I have her elemental skill and elemental burst at max at the current moment, which is just level 4. But once I do ascend her, these two are the ones that are gonna be healed up, ranked up the most, especially the ultimate elemental burst. Just does a ton of healing because it's based off the attack percentage, attack stat. My bad. But yeah, that's pretty much it. For the rest of the characters, I don't really have them built at all. I have Noelle at Ascension 3, level 50, with one constellation. I have Bennett, Ascension 3, level 50. Again, I leveled these guys up so I can get the Ascension 3 reward of having a extra free wish. So that's pretty much it. I don't really have these guys built as I would want. Chung Young, Ascension 1, level 20, official, same thing. And Razor, again, the same thing. I don't have a need for these guys. And Jin Yan, I've heard Jin Yan's pretty good. I would want to build her, but I have enough fire characters at the current moment, so I don't have any need. But yeah, and that also brings us up to my character, uh, Sonic, which that's the name I have for him. But yeah, this is the Traveler. Uh, he's got enough stuff to make him good at the current moment. I have all the constellations for both Geo and Animo. Artifact wise, I have him mostly built for Gladiator's finale, but I have been taking away some of artifacts because I just don't use them as much. His Festering Desire, the sword that we got in the recent event, is pretty good on him as well. I usually switch this with Kaya, so Prototype Rancor doesn't works a lot with him as well. But yeah, there's nothing much to say. I have 4-3-3 on him because of the talents and the constellation increases. Yeah, that'll be all for the characters. Another progression that I want to show off is my Spile Abyss progression. I have been able to pass all the first 8 floors of the Spiral Abyss, which is really good. Um, it gives you a ton of rewards. So if you're struggling with any Primogem shortage or anything like that, I do recommend completing the Spiral Abyss. It might be hard at first, but once you get your teams built up properly, this should actually be a breeze. And then you get to unlock the Abyssal Moonspire, which is a Spiral Abyss that resets every 2 weeks, which has uh, different enemies each time, I believe. Or it might just be for this event where they put in the characters or the enemies from Dragonspine, which is the new event that's going on and the new area. My bad. But yeah, that's pretty much it for what I want to show off. Just want to show off the completed map. I have parts of the world fully completed, like Windwhale Highlands. All the other areas are still incomplete because there's just so much to explore in this game. So even when you get as high of an adventure rank as I am, you still have a lot to explore. Well, that'll be it for this video. Thank you all for joining in. This is my first take on my uh, account review. I will be doing more of these as I get further along in the game, getting more characters, and of course, the more they update the game, the more that I'll be able to show off and more characters that I'll be ranking up according to the situations. So yeah, that'll be something that I will definitely be doing periodically. But yeah, thank you all for watching. You can find me at twitch.tv at Sonic27. Uh, I stream there almost daily at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes I go on earlier, or sometimes I might have things going on and I get a little bit later. But that is usually the time that I am on. I also upload on here on YouTube at designer27 underscore lot um, live. That just allows me to put in most of my stream VODs here as some of my content, which I do love doing. I'm also gonna be making videos like this once I get started, get a lot of more content ideas and videos I can make. So yeah, like I said, thank you all for watching, and I'll be seeing you guys at another time. See ya.